Hey, I'm Christopher Janes, CTO and founder of Immersive. I'm here with Mike Tolliver, who's our Director of Product Experience and been running really the Kepler program for, a year?
Almost a year, exactly.
Yeah, so today's a big event. Welcome to the Kepler Global Launch from Denver. But before we have Mike give us a demo, I want to take you through really the context of why we did what we've done with Kepler. It's really important. You know us as a company that makes your meeting rooms much, much easier to access, to use, to become more productive, in fact, even be a little bit more fun when you have a meeting. So we're trying to change the old video cable culture to something that's a lot more intuitive, a lot more collaborative. But what's happened is our customers have said, look, you guys are on on 900 of our conference rooms. What do we do now when we know the workplace is changing? So if you zoom out from that one room and look at it as a whole, really you'll see that there are other things at play, like what IT decisions should I be making to embrace this collaborative culture? How many huddle rooms do I need versus large conference rooms? So we went back to the drawing board and said, well, the pod can actually talk to your cloud account called Kepler and collect all of that data and give it to you in ways that's pretty intuitive, allow you to really learn about your own spaces. So think of us as the company that's making your meetings better, but at the same time, we're helping you understand where all this is going. As our workplaces all change together, how are we going to take it into a good place? So Kepler does that for you. It's really exciting. Mike, do you want to just go ahead and give them a demo?
Thanks, Chris. Excited to show more about the details of Kepler. No matter what fancy technology and gadgets are available, the most important resource of any organization is its human resources. With the average knowledge worker spending 30% of their time in meetings, anything you can do to make that experience more efficient is extremely valuable. RealTime monitoring and configurable alerts provide high-level visibility into the health of your deployment and the ability to ensure proper configuration at a glance. When the status is green in Kepler, you can be confident that when a user walks into a meeting space, that space is ready for them. That, combined with customizable alerts, allows you to detect and resolve issues before they cause a disruption to your end users. This customization is important. Let's say you have a deployment across many different buildings, campuses, or even cities. With Kepler, you can customize each alert so that it reaches the right person. Monitoring in Kepler provides unparalleled visibility and flexibility to make sure your infrastructure is performing as it should. The analytics side of Kepler allows you to see not only the health of your Solstice deployment and how it's configured, but also how it's being used. This allows you to easily measure the ROI for your spaces, but it goes much further than that. Kepler can help measure engagement and productivity within each meeting space. Quickly identify spaces that are overbooked or underutilized. Get a sense of how your team members collaborate in these spaces. How many people contribute to the same session? Even how many pieces of content are shared. Did you know that meetings in huddle spaces tend to be 30% shorter and have 22% more content shared than meetings in conference rooms? How about the average meeting duration is 57 minutes long? This is all data that we learned directly from Kepler. Kepler also has a powerful tagging and aggregation mechanism called categories. You can use that to dive deep into your data and glean powerful insights. The Solstice pod itself doesn't know whether it's in a huddle space or a large conference room, or on campus A versus campus B. However, Kepler includes the ability to easily tag rooms through Kepler's category feature. And once set up, this allows users to slice the data and drill down in very meaningful ways. Want to know if team members prefer rooms with 4K displays or touchscreens? If huddle spaces on floor 8 are overbooked compared to floor 9? Or does average meeting duration differ when comparing scheduled meetings to ad hoc meetings? Kepler can provide those answers through intuitive visualizations.
Thanks, Mike. That makes a great demo.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I know a lot of our users have already been in beta with you guys. I've talked to some of them. I think from my perspective and theirs, it's been a big success already.
Yeah. Beta's been a great success already. We've had dozens of customers and thousands of pods, and we've had a few success stories come in. Like one of my favorites, we've got a lot of interest on the analytics side, but the monitoring piece provides a lot of value too. And there's a real value to be able to just get an at-a-glance view of your deployment. And we had one early beta customer. This was actually might have been the very first one that we had on board. But they were able to view in Kepler and see that one of their SDS entries was mistyped. It was just a typo. But what happened was when users walked into that room, they weren't able to discover the display, and they were, they weren't able to use Solstice as they should. But what's interesting was that nobody in the end users said, hey, there's a problem.
Right.
They just do what people do. They walk into a room and they find a cable or find the workaround, right?
Right.
But with Kepler, the administrator for that site was able to quickly find that and resolve it, and then next day, everything's operating seamlessly. So that's the kind of things that you don't even really know that there's a problem sometimes. And like you mentioned, we're working on some more automated alert systems where we can notify you when something like that happens as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I know with email alerting coming out of Kepler, you could probably take that to the whole nother level where you're proactively responding to room events like that.
Exactly.
That's cool. Yeah, I had similar stories coming back from the beta community as well. One of my favorites really was when one of our larger customers has rolled out into multinational. So they're in multiple cities and they do flex IT staffing. So they're making hard decisions based on basically guesses about when do I staff particular facilities with IT. And they, through Kepler, now know, wait a minute, my pods in London are used far more often in the morning versus my ones in Paris, which is maybe more of an afternoon thing. And so they're going to already adjust the way they staff those sites.
That's great.
This is super cool. Well, keep in mind too that the launch isn't really just about Kepler v1. It doesn't really stop there. There's a whole lot of roadmap that's going to come. Just like everything we do though, our roadmap is really a dialogue with our customers, so it won't be set in stone. It's really this conversion to analytics based and even AI insights, something I find really interesting. Our customers do too. It's not done yet. Maybe you want to tell us what your favorite thing is in the roadmap coming that came out of the beta program.
Yeah, we've got some great ideas. As Chris mentioned, the launch of Kepler doesn't mean that we're going to just be done with it. This is just step one. We've got a long and exciting roadmap specifically for Kepler. One of the things that I'm most excited about that you alluded to is, Kepler only collects small amounts of metadata.
Mm-hmm.
You're not collecting tons and tons of data from each pod, but as that data adds up, you can drive some pretty cool insights from it. So as data accumulates from so many pods, we're able to establish statistical baselines and statistical averages, which then allows us to detect outliers automatically. And we can provide those kind of outliers and those kind of alerts via an automated insight engine that we're going to build, and kind of make it like just a message feed like you're used to seeing in social media, that you can just scroll through and see one place to see everything that's going on with your whole deployment at a time, and it will automate the most of the effort for you. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's great. I mean, given our heritage that's, computer science / AI, I get a real kick out of that.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting for everybody. So how do you get Kepler? Well, you've got V1's launched. You need to have pods that are on enterprise, of course, and they should be under maintenance. And as soon as that happens, update to 3.4. When you download 3.4, that dashboard will now have a Kepler tab. Go there and begin to onboard your pods securely into your own Kepler account. In fact, it'll automatically create an account for you as part of that onboarding process. So it's really lightweight, really easy to get started. You've already made the investment to all those rooms. You're already using us to make your meetings better. Now you can use those same little devices in those rooms to understand how your meetings unfold in deeper ways through the insights you're talking about, which I find great. Good. So thanks for joining us for the launch. It's been really exciting. We're super excited. I hope that comes across. It's been a long haul, more than a year, but we're here now. We're excited for you guys to join, and thanks again.